Let's go next to Dan from Oregon. Dan from Oregon, welcome to the David Pakman Show. What is on your mind today?
Hi, David. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm at politically right now. I was very much a backer of most of the Democratic establishment's goals, in my younger years, and I'm starting to do more and more research and look into how uh, difficult it is to really move the needle on a lot of these big political issues with the constant stranglehold of the capitalist class. And just wondering where conversations could go, where you think that we could actually move the needle in getting people to recognize the inherent hill we're trying to climb over, these giant changes that need to be made when there's the big money influences just constantly keeping their boot on our
This is
neck.
so tough. I mean, I wish there was a simple answer, but you're basically saying, how can you circumvent the system that got us to where we are without having any system but that system with which to do it, right? And this is what makes this stuff so difficult. You accurately diagnose that there are so many people that aren't even sort of like aware of the top level structural and systemic things that need to happen. I think that these things include campaign finance, how we run elections, media. I've talked about like my big overarching issues that affect every issue, but we're sort of limited by using the very broken system we have to get people to recognize this stuff. And it is the very same system which makes it so a lot of people can't afford to take time off in order to go to a protest and all these things. So, I mean, listen, I could repeat like the same stuff I always say, but obviously it's not working in any real way. So I don't have an answer. And it's sort of like one of the most critical questions, which is great. We've identified the problems of the system. And now we need to work within that system in some way. Like I know you can say, well, work outside the system, right? But so how are we going to communicate with people? We've got social media, traditional media, print media. You can go out and do street preaching, but we know kind of how that works. So it is a really difficult question, and I wish I had a better answer.
I realize it was a very broad question, but I I really value the way you put things out there, and I just wanted to hear your take on that. But it's something that I'm very interested in uh, putting some energy into and learning more about. And yeah, just I would love to see some movement in that direction as far as getting more people on board. It's like crazy to me that I sit and talk to people that consider themselves being on the right,
Yeah.
but when I kind of talk about the goals of what we're trying to that socialism essentially would accomplish without actually saying socialism, they tend to jump on board real quick and agree with me, but moving the
That's
needle seems to
interesting.
be really
Well, as
challenging.
you know, Dan, I am not a socialist, but I still share many of the same immediate next steps that you would identify, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Well, we all know that corporate stranglehold is killing us all.
All right,
Anyway,
my
all
friend,
right. Well,
thank you
thanks,
for bringing
David.
up this important issue. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
All right, there goes Dan from Oregon. Let's welcome back to the program Johnny from Boston. Johnny, welcome. You going to be watching CPAC at all? Oh boy,
No,
you're not
probably
watching it.
not.
Okay, fair. All right,
No,
good.
I have other things to watch.
That's fair. I totally respect that.
So I wanted to ask about your interview with Pandora Box. I know it wasn't on the show, but I saw it kind of on the link. I actually stopped
Yes.
it to watch Pandora. How did you get connected with her, and how has the response been?
So, well, my colleague John handled making the initial contact, and actually, Pandora was connected to the show The Dish that I had a cameo on. And so I actually think that was the connection. And the response has been pretty good, I have to tell you. I mean, listen, the homophobes and the anti-drag and the anti-trans and everybody in that space came up with their same predictable responses. But a ton of people wrote to me saying, I learned a ton about the difference between drag performers and trans people, which I was actually kind of shocked that a lot of people didn't realize we're talking about two different things. And just generally, people were very positive about the interview.
That's good. I loved it. I was so excited. I actually recorded a podcast with her drag sister Aggie Doon from Rochester, and I was like, "Do you know what she did? She's doing some great. She's doing God's work right now." And especially with, have you heard about the thing going on in Tennessee with the governor?
Yeah, we
signing
covered
the
it
bill?
earlier this week where he's doing all this anti-drag stuff, and then he was confronted with a picture of himself in drag.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy because Nashville has some amazing drag performers. It's like I'm really worried that it's going to put a lot of them out of work because the bill is really draconian.
It's all crazy. I mean, like, listen, what I really learned from the interview with Pandora was there's really nothing to be worried about in this entire drag panic that there is.
Yeah.
As if I didn't
Yeah,
already know that, but you know.
True. I mean, there's nothing to worry about.
There really isn't.
Exactly. And you know, one of your other callers earlier talked about George Santos and how you talk about. I call her Katara Ravash because you know, I'm a part-time drag queen, so I have no problem calling her by her drag name.
Okay.
I understand why you didn't want to, but just letting you know, I would call her Katara, and I will continue to call her Katara.
All right, Johnny, you do you, my friend. I appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
All right, there is Johnny from Boston. Always great to hear from him. Imagine for a second that you try logging into your email account only to find that your password was changed an hour ago. And then you get notifications of activity from your bank and then your credit cards. That is what identity theft is like, and it's a horrible feeling. And we dealt with it at the show not that long ago, but now I have an app called Aura, which gives me much more peace of mind. Our sponsor, Aura, is the all-in-one solution for keeping your online account safe because Aura will scan the dark web for your personal info, passwords, social security number, and you get fast alerts when they find something. You also get fast alerts about credit inquiries. Aura protects all of your devices from malware. Aura even requests the removal of your info from data broker sites, and Aura helps you manage what your kids can do on their devices. You can restrict certain apps, set screen time limits, set focus times when you need them off of devices. Go to aura.com/Pacman to try it free for 7 days. Your login credentials might already be floating around out there, and Aura will tell you instantly for free. The link is down below.